Here we go. Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing fantastic. Thank you so much for calling in.
Not a problem. My pleasure.
Yeah, we have lots to talk about. So let me let me get you set up here so I can have my hands free, so I get to move my hands around. All right, everybody, chat. We have yarn work on the. Do you go with yarn work crafts or yarn work?
Yarn work is fine.
Yarn work is fine. Okay. So we have yarn work on the phone again, calling in. So if you guys have any questions, definitely put them in the chat, and we'll do our best to get to them. So tell us about today. Wow, what a day to be in there. Just tell me you go. Tell me your impressions.
Oh my Lord! I tried to write down the juror impressions today, and I also got more of a breakdown of the juror breakdown.
Okay.
Also, so there's 2 white men, 5 black men, 4 black women, 2 white women, 1 Indian woman, and 2 Latin men.
All right, whoa, hold on. Let me get that. Say that again, but slower this time. 2, start from the top.
2 white men.
2 white men, okay.
5 black men.
5 black men, okay.
4 black women.
4 black women, okay.
2 white women.
2 white women.
1 Indian woman.
1 Indian, okay.
And 2 Latin men.
2 Latin men, okay. Awesome. All right. So, yeah, you said it was 8 and 8, right? That I assume that equals 8 men, 8 women, yeah. All right, that's fairly diverse, right? I think that's pretty diverse.
Yeah.
I was imagining it being more skewed one way or the other, but that's not too bad.
No.
All right, and okay, so as always, how were they reacting to when they said Nick? I call Nick Kassotis to the stand. What was their reaction?
I got there after he was already on the stand.
Okay. All right. No worries.
So I got there right after he said, they started writing notes when he said that he wasn't checking on Jim, as the defense attorney was finishing up with him. Mm-hmm. And then we took a break, and then the cross-examination started. Okay. So you basically were there for all of cross? Yes.
Okay. All right. So do you think that Miss Bayo, how did we took a couple of polls, how do you think she did with her cross?
I think she did really well with her cross. I watched the tail end. I got there when he got up to her deletion with the defense. So they were making faces yeah, right, mm-hmm. when Nick was talking. So the jury was, listening and wanting to hear what he had to say, but they were yeah, they didn't really believe him. Okay. All right. Now watching when the cross started, they started to write notes in his responses when she confronted him about, so you would triple check things when you worked for the Pentagon and everything, but mm-hmm. You didn't check when Jim came into the picture. Mm-hmm. The judge at that point was watching the prosecutor, not Nick. Mm-hmm. And there was a juror smiling get him. Mm-hmm. And it was really weird how he could remember the date mm-hmm. that he got his car, but he couldn't remember the day he was discharged from the military. Mm-hmm. Oh, that irritated me so much. I brought that up a couple of times. I think last week I brought that up. I think when he first said, or in his interview or something, I remember that irritated me to no end. So that bugged you as well? Oh, yeah. That's that is a very, very, very important date to people when they leave the military. You have to know that, when you go get your VA VA benefits, everything. They want to know the day you leave the military, when you go get, a new job. They want to know the day you were discharged. They want to know all of those things. It is on your DD-214. You have to have that. And it's kind of like your birthday. That's your next date that you have to remember. Right.
Yeah, I would think the day you enlisted and the day you were discharged or left or whatever, those are two very, very important dates. I agree with you. It's like, your birthday, wedding day, perhaps, if you get married or whatever, and then enlisting and or discharge from the military. To me, I would think those would be very important dates. And he definitely said, well, I think it was the fall or it was sometime the end of, he just never said. And then when Cameron came up, she was, to me, that's military. She was like, boom, 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 without hesitating. He's like,
exactly.
Well, this, well, that, that to me definitely struck a chord of like, what are you even talking about? So.
Exactly. And the way that he was answering, like he was trying to answer like an expert to the jury versus answering to his attorney, that bugged me.
Yeah, he would get the answer right or get the question, then he would turn over to the jury, or he was just basically looking at the jury pretty much the whole time, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think he would look at the whoever was asking the question, then he would turn over. He would look at
exactly. It was that was bugging me, the way he was turning his head back and forth. That was like, answer the question to your attorney. You're not supposed to be answering to the jury, sir.
Right.
That's not how that works.
Right.
And then November 29th was not a Black Friday, so it wasn't an important day to be like going and buying things from Home Depot. It wasn't a good reason to go and buy a tool. And like she pointed out in her closing, there's really no mosquitoes in November. So you kind of got them there. Why are you buying that to go cover up vents if you're going to be planning on moving anyway?
Right. Yeah. One thing that he said, let me see if I can find it, because to me that was the epitome of their argument for the defense. It was at the very end, and I remember I marked it off. Hold on a sec.
Well, I don't think he realized he said it, but he said, I saw no reason to believe him.
Hey, hold on. What was... Say that again?
He said, instead of saying, I saw no reason not to believe him, he said, I saw no reason to believe him.
Right. Meaning Nick to Jim. Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. And I was like, oh, you're a really bad lawyer. Because your job's all about your words, sir. Right. And when he was saying, well, I'm not a lawyer, you're never not what you trained to be. Right.
Yeah. Even though I'm not currently a lawyer, but you have a master's, you've been through years and years of training. You were a JAG, well, he was, because we looked him up, and so that's verifiable. And then Cameron, obviously, she testified. So yeah, you just never not stop being a lawyer, especially if you reach that level. Yeah. So yeah, okay. So it was, how do we know this story isn't fiction? Because Mr. Weinstein was talking about, you make up stories, you write, blah, blah, blah. He said, everything we did for 5 years makes no sense unless someone else made us do this. So that was that summed it up for me. It's like, everything we did for 5 years makes no sense unless somebody else made us. So there's no reason for us to make up this outlandish story unless it was true.
Yeah, unless you made some yourselves do it.
Yeah. Now, one thing that Mr. Weinstein said in the closing, he said that I lost my train of thought for a second. Hold on a sec. Making it up. I lost my train of thought. All right, let's. It'll come back to me in a second. I'm thinking about 20 different things, and I had something I wanted to talk about. How about jury? Were they taking notes? We can always go back to that. And then also, we know the racial makeup. How about their age? Were they? I think you said yesterday they were kind of from 20s to 60s.
Yeah.
So first of all, were they taking notes? Were they attentive?
They were pretty attentive. The fifth one, the fifth lady on the front row, she seemed bored and over it, like almost really dozy. And the eighth lady on the front row would not look at him. She just sat facing forward. She didn't turn her chair to look at him. She was just facing forward.
Wow. So he was turning to look at her, like he's turning to look at them, and she's just looking forward, and he's like here, and she's just looking over.
She did not turn her chair.
Wow.
Whereas, they can turn their chair and look at the witness. She did not turn her chair.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. So that kind of gives us an indication of where she's going to land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every time he answered, well, I believe so, it irked my skin.
Oh my God. He said it so many times. And were you in chat when somebody pointed out when he was being crossed, he said, I believe so. But then, of course, when redirect came up or during his direct, I don't think he said it at all. I don't think he said, I believe so at all. Yeah.
And the judge kind of smiled when she started to ask him about taxes and the tax documents, because she was, so the judge kind of giggled. And at that time, then the fifth lady from the front, she was like, it's about time. Like let's confront him. Like, come on.
Yeah. All right.
And then,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I pulled up because I wanted to talk about this next, but I don't want to cut you off. So the tax, we finished with the tax?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So David Robinson, death stare from dad. So I definitely wanted to talk to you about this. Were you able, well, you were sitting behind dad, and you were sitting next to Kelly Craft? Yeah, Kelly Craft and Aaron Moriarty, or you were sitting right in front of them. So Are you familiar with them?
When you guys had mentioned it, I looked them up. I had spoken actually to Kelly yesterday. Yeah, Kelly yesterday, and I spoke with her again today. She actually was sitting next to Amanda's dad today, and she was just chit-chatting with him about, I don't know, fishing and other stuff today.
Nice. So when Nick was saying all these things about when Wayne, his dad, came with Chet, his uncle, the brother of Wayne, like, were you there when that was going on, or were you
Yes, I was there. That was awful.
Yeah.
That was awful.
Yeah, I mean, Dad was just giving him, like David said, Death Star stares. I mean, he just looked like he was ready to jump out of his skin and just be like, strangle him. So were you able, I know you weren't able to see because you're sitting behind him, but were you able to pick up any body language of how that?
Yeah, he had stiffened up, and, I did notice that his mom was sitting closer to him, to Dad today, because they had been like sliding apart, but they were sitting closer together today. So I don't know if that was because they were trying to seem, like a unit. And then the aunt sat behind the mom, I think, so that they could again seem more like a unit. But when that happened, all the jurors looked at Dad and over at the uncle, and it was just, you just knew that hurt his feelings. Like, it just, everybody looked over at them, and it was, I felt bad. And I actually checked in with them, and, I asked if they were okay. And I guess the uncle thought I said, are you resting okay?
Oh.
I said, no, are you doing okay?
Right. Do you know who that woman with the blonde hair that was sitting next to Mom with the black shirt and the cross? Did you happen to catch her? Who that was?
No. The lady with the long blonde hair. I think that she may be her niece.
Okay.
Like his cousin.
Okay.
I think it's just funny that he came like after, and he walked up and he's like, "Thank you all for coming." Like it's a freaking dinner party.
So that's what he said, because after every day he turns around and he talks to them. So he thanked them for coming. You heard that?
Yes. Yeah. Like it's a dinner party.
Right. So the reason I bring up that woman, the woman in black with the black shirt, Sherry also asked that as well. But I noticed at one point and during one of the breaks where Nick stayed on the stand, but the jury went away, and there was no audio. And I don't remember if you were in court at that point or not. But Nick was still on the stand. They sent the jury out. And then they showed the camera showed the gallery, and the woman was like, she was like giving heart. She was like doing this, like, like basically saying, you did really well. You're doing good. You're doing really well. So I'm like, who the heck is that? And why are you, you're throwing all these signs to Nick, and why are you allowed to do that? So I figured she was either a very close friend or a relative of some sort,
Oh, no, I didn't know that she was doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There was a point I did notice that the third juror in the back was using his notepad to cover his mouth to laugh.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, when it was coming up about how he was traveling to get his license and on his other license and his name change, and how that was quite comical about, Social Security doesn't work like that. No, because having changed my name when I got married, they literally give you your information that day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he kind of got caught up. He's like, do you change Social Security if you have a name change, or do you change your social, or do you change your name because? He kind of got mixed up with that order of how and when you do it.
And then after lunch, when we came back, I actually was talking to the court TV lady and Aaron, and they were talking about, Nick and some of the stuff that he did. And I raised a question. I was like, well, did they actually look into the stuff that he was doing on Reddit? Not just his writing, but maybe the subreddits he was reading.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe that's how he learned how to do some of this stuff, like how to make his very fake looking Georgia driver's license, because that's not what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
And how to make these emails and such, and how to come up with some of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Oh, okay. Here's an interesting comment from Laura. Her husband was in the United States Air Force for 9 years and in the reserves for 2. He left around 92. He has no clue the date or even the exact year he was discharged for either. Okay, well, that just blows our theory out of the water. I would think that you would know something like that, but apparently Laura's husband does not.
But it would be on that most important piece of paper is DD-214, which Nick would still have with him, and he would have to carry that. He would most likely know where that was.
Mm-hmm.
And if he was going for an important job like Microsoft or something, he would need to know that date.
Right. Yeah. I would think so too. I'm going to just close this curtain because the sun's starting to come in a little bit here. Let me just close that up so I don't get blasted by the sun. Okay. I think that's
I thought it was funny that he was referencing mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Because they're bloodsuckers, and he was technically a bloodsucker to all the people around him.
He was absolutely a what would you call it? Was he an emotional vampire? Was he he was definitely sucking.
He was a financial vampire and an emotional vampire.
Yeah. Well, he betrayed. He told lies. He betrayed people. They trusted him. There's no reason for them to be like, with Mindy. And I guess Mindy told these stories too, because both of her parents were saying on the stand, yeah, she was talking about this stuff. So was like, did he make this up and then he kind of brainwashed Mindy into believing this stuff? Or did they both kind of fall into this? And then why? It's just so many questions,
Well, I was trying to explain it to my husband. I was like, look, you see me as bright. He was like, yes. I said, I understand you are smart in those things. So if I believe you and my family knows I'm smart, then they're going to believe you because they believe me.
Mm-hmm. That's
so
yeah,
that is why they believed the things that Mindy said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they all said, yeah, I think both of them were asked, both Frank and Betsy were asked, was Mindy smart? Oh, yes, she was an honor. She was very smart, very, very intelligent individual. Would you believe, everything, would you believe her? Yeah. And I think you would. So they were just duped. So then my next question is, how did she then get to that point of telling this story?
Why wouldn't she believe a person that she loves that was a lawyer and a JAG officer and all of these things? Why wouldn't she believe him?
Mm-hmm. Well, she would definitely believe he was JAG officer because she met Cameron, and Cameron is very, very credible, very believable.
Exactly.
So,
and then if he is going and making up these emails, and he can be like, well, look, see, because he's on the computer all day and she's not, then.
But Jim was the one. So all these things started happening after this article came out in 2015 or 2016? I just read it. 2016, this article came out about this Afghanistan situation, and they went. Then vandalism started happening to, emails, threats, mail, all this stuff, bank accounts. Then they go on the FBI website, they fill out a form, and then it was Mindy, according to Nick, that Mindy was the one that first met Jim. So obviously we can't cross him or cross Mindy on that and ask her that. But if that is true, where does that leave us? If Mindy was truly the one that first met Jim and brought Jim into their lives, where does that leave us?
I doubt that Mindy was the one that brought Jim in, if he's the one that was the one that went on the website.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there as like if it's a big if you. So I think that's what the jury has.
It's really easy to put the blame on the person that's not there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, that's what the jury's going to have to decide. Do we believe that Mindy was the one that first brought Jim in? But as Mr. Weinstein said, this isn't about Jim McIntyre. It's about who killed Mindy. So, but I think you have to bring in Jim on some level. You can't completely isolate him because everything was just so wrapped up. Jim said this. Jim said that. Jim told us to do this. Jim took Mindy to the hospital. Jim found the doctors. Everything was Jim. So it's hard to separate that.
Just like he doesn't fall down, a flight of stairs. He falls down 20-foot flight of stairs. Nobody makes 20 feet, a 20-foot flight of stairs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's 2 flights of stairs. You don't do that and survive, sir.
No, you don't. And it's not just a straight fall. It would be angled, right? Because I think there's you have to have a certain number of steps in a platform or whatever, a landing.
Well, a story is 10 feet. Mm-hmm. So that's 2 stories. Yeah. It was at that point that's where I threw my pen, and it's just like, come on, man, come on. Trying so hard to not react.
I know, you were great every time. I think I tagged you a couple of times. Like, you were like right behind, like when they centered on the family, on the parents, you were right there. So you got some good stream time there.
And then when he said he couldn't remember if the camera recorded, I was like, that's because you got a dummy camera from Harbor Freight.
Nice. All right, let's take a few questions here. So Chris Mass is saying, question, you're curious, yarn work may not be too shy to ask the jury questions once they are freed, if she will be there and willing. So there's a lot in there. Are you planning on going again? And if so, what days? And then if so, is there any chance that you could talk to a juror? And I know that's kind of weird. I know people don't necessarily want to do that, but what do you think about that?
I'm gonna try to go tomorrow. It's very early to go for 30 minutes, but I will try to go tomorrow. I mean, the jurors walk out the same doors I do, and they park in the same parking lot I'm parking in. So it's not hard. I rode up the elevator with a juror today, and we were talking about hurricane preparation. I did speak with Amanda before closing started, and was able to give her, because she wasn't going to stay for closing. I told her that I was so sorry for her loss, and she stopped and she gave me a really nice hug. I felt so terrible. I just needed to tell her that I was sorry for her loss. And she told me thank you.
Right. No, wait, who's Amanda?
Amanda was the best friend.
Wait a minute. Super Bowl. Angela.
Right? Angela, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
Angela.
Yeah.
I am terrible with names.
No. That's fine. I thought I'm like, wait a minute, did I miss something here? And then okay.
Angela.
Yeah.
Miss Angela she gave a very good hug. I was just trying to, express my condolences.
Nice. Yeah. I know it's weird when during the Lori Daybell trials, Joe Schmo was there, and he's in our chat, and he was there, and I know it's weird, like the media like hunts down jurors, and I don't want you to do that at all. Don't do that at all. But if you do in some way strike up a conversation, just say, hey, would you guys be interested just to talk for a little bit and just see what they say? Just feel them out and see what they say.
The court TV people have been told they can't talk to the witnesses.
Ever or just now?
I don't know if ever or now, but somebody, the victims advocates, I guess, were told them they can't talk to them. Okay. So I was like, oh, well, I missed Angela. Yeah.
Well, I mean, talking is one thing, but interviewing is a whole different thing. I mean, just talking and chit-chatting, that's acceptable. Even with the jurors, I mean, you're really not supposed to but I think if you're just writing up and you're just doing general chit-chat, that's one thing. But if you're like, sit down and let me interview you, or let me just, impromptu do an interview, that's definitely frowned upon. So,
we were talking about how hot it was and getting ready for hurricanes.
Yeah.
We're under a heat advisory today, and how it was raining 2 days ago. So that's what we talked about in the elevator.
Yeah. I think that's fine. I don't think you're not gonna get in any trouble for that. And I think they generally just say stay away from the jurors because they don't want them being tainted in any way, shape, or form. So it's just better just to completely stay away from them. But again, if you're forced to, like sometimes Jules, I think she said she would go to the bathroom when she was down at Sarah Boone, and Mr. J, or not Mr. J, who were some of Sarah's defense would be in the bathroom. So of course you're going to say, hey, what's up?
Yeah, so. It's a very polite person, so I'm going to say hello, how are you, all those things, so it's kind of hard to not.
Exactly. So Gretchen says, have we talked about the jury reaction during closing arguments? I don't think we have.
They were very attentive, more so definitely during prosecutions, and everybody jumped, and I was not going to give you guys the warning because I jumped, and I didn't think it would be fair to warn y'all. If I jumped, you had to jump.
Yeah. Oh God. I jumped for sure. Super Ball jumped. What was the line? What did she say?
He's mad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he's mad. Let's see. Where was it? And you're mad. Okay. Unless he put the tubs there. No way Nick would know there. And then all I have is you're mad. I was so distraught. I didn't even get the full the full thing. Why did she say that again? Because with the stabs to the abdomen.
Because I think he's mad she's not pregnant.
Right.
Because that's why he stabbed her in the belly. Mm-hmm. How about when they showed the picture of the totes and they showed the gray tote with the handles? I don't know if you guys if they showed all the pictures. His mom was like, "That's not the tote. That's not the gray tote." And I think that they had to be like, well, they took the handle covers off to reassure her that was the gray tote. But she was like, that's not the tote. That's not the tote. And I was like, it is the tote. It's the same tote.
So mom is sticking by him clearly still. Yeah. Now, dad, as we talked about earlier, looked really upset, understandably. Yeah. But then I took a couple screenshots of him.
He's there out of obligation with mom.
Yeah, he was. Let me see if I can find him.
His feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
And his feelings are hurt, and I feel like he's just there out of obligation with his wife.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. It did seem like he had a different demeanor when Cross was going versus direct, meaning he seemed more attentive. Maybe it was after lunch or something. He just seemed more attentive when Cross was happening. So I don't know. I don't want to read into that or whatever it is, what it is. But I did notice at times it seemed like he was more engaged, if you will.
Yeah, I wanted to hear the other side of the story versus just the one that Nick had told him, I'm sure.
Yeah. Let's see, Sally, who wants to believe their child is a murderer? Yeah, that's a good point. David, his dad's eyes were full of anger. Yeah, he definitely, especially he's getting thrown under the bus, and it was, I would definitely be like, son, what are you doing? That never happened. You were just up there. Well, I'm only speculating, but I'm assuming that never happened. So.
Right.
Let's see. Let's see. Better not speak to a juror. Could be a cause of a mistrial. Okay. Yep. All right. Aaron is providing wise words of wisdom, saying, yep. Well, again, chit chat, I think, is one thing, but I think that's why they tell you don't talk to the juror. Just it might get out down the road that, oh, this person was affiliated with this channel and this whatever. So, but just chit chat is one thing if you're in an elevator. But yeah, they generally tell you stay away from the jurors just for that. But we trust that you will do the right thing, of course.
Yeah. Oh no, we were talking about how it was nice to be in the AC and how it's crazy how we're in our heat warning again today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is it? Is it you're in the 90s? I'm assuming high 90s.
It's 104.
Ooh, that's pretty toasty. Yeah, that's pretty toasty. Meanwhile, there's a tropical storm / hurricane. Well, tropical storm that's formed. Of course, we're all eyes on that. But
yes.
You know. Let's see what else. Let's see. We talked about. Well, Nick was the main focus, obviously, all day.
Did you guys see when he got in trouble with the judge?
No.
Right before lunch, when they let the jury out, they were going to do the break, and then they did the 10-15 minute break. Then they were like, "Oh, well, let's go to lunch." They called everybody up. Nick went to go talk, and he's like, "You don't have to. I don't want to hear from you." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Oh." Oh
wow! Wait, he went to talk to who or what? Like he was
Nick went to speak to the judge directly. He was like, "You don't get to speak with me directly."
Ah, okay. I kind of remember something like that, but I don't remember it being exactly like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I was like, "Sir, you should know better."
Yeah, of course. Well, of course, him being a lawyer, but he hasn't practiced in so many years.
But he's not a lawyer anymore, remember?
But he's not a lawyer anymore. Exactly. Let's see. Just kind of going through my notes to see if anything jumped out at me that I can ask you. Let's see. There were some technical difficulties for states closing, but that wasn't a big deal. Do you feel okay? Well, let's. How do you feel? How do you feel the state's presentation went? Do you think, in your mind, do you think Nick is guilty or not guilty? Where do you land?
I'm landing in guilty.
Mm-hmm. Based on everything you've seen, heard.
Mm-hmm. I know it's circumstantial, and they're like, "Well, you can't place them out there." Blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. They do make battery-powered sawzalls, and you know the head event could have happened at the house. Clean that up, take her out, do the dismembering out in the woods.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that something happened on that futon in that room that he says he never went into. There was blood on the wall, blood on the floor, blood on the futon. Probably started maybe with a punch or a choke or something, and maybe hit. I mean, clearly she got hit in the head 9 times. So something happened. I don't know if he premeditated it to the point of like, oh, tonight's the night I'm going to get her. Maybe he did. I don't know, because he was talking to Samantha in October. And then November. So clearly a solid month before all this happened. So was he premeditating it? Was he, he went to buy the knife the day of, the 29th. The shovel, I think, was in early November, I think, or October even.
Yes.
So, yeah, so I think I'm leaning towards hit her over the head, bleeding, rolls her up in the rug, hauls her out. Well, let's see. That would have been, maybe it was that morning, because then he was gone for like 2 hours down in Riceboro. So maybe it was that morning. And then, like, I wonder, did he just like, oh, I just did this. I got to go dump a body. Now where do I go? Do I just drive down 95? Or he must have looked on his phone. That's one thing I wish they brought in, like his Google searches. They didn't bring in any of his searches.
Yeah, they didn't bring any of the. Well, the other thing is we've been spoiled by a lot a lot of other data from other trials. Mm-hmm. So we're like, well, what about this? And what about that? And what about, all of this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we want to see the data. Give me the data.
Please. That's my rallying cry. I scream that all the time. Yes. Just give me the data. I hear you.
The data doesn't lie.
Does not. Gretchen saying a few of us have asked what happened when the state abruptly stopped questioning. I don't remember that. Do you remember that?
I think it was. We all just kind of looked around, like, mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. When the state abruptly stopped.
I think she had realized that he had enough rope.
Okay.
To do the
at the very end. At the very end of her questioning, I guess that's what.
Yeah, she'd given him enough rope for himself.
Okay, so she ends with, why didn't you subpoena Apis? Why didn't you locate Jim in anticipation of this trial? Jim was a majority investor. And she said, why didn't you hire a PI? And he said, well, I hope the state would do that, but you all don't care enough to do so. That was objected to, argumentative. That's when they were asked to approach the bench. The jury leaves, and then redirect came. So that was kind of a weird way to end it, on an objection. Right,
it was. And I think it was to make the point that why didn't the defense bring him in?
Right, but she didn't come back, and I mean there were questions. A lot of people in chat were like, well, she could have talked to him about this, she could have talked to him about that, and I'm trying to think of the specifics right now, because I'm like, well, tell me specifics versus what I'm doing right now, which are like, whoa, she could have done this, she could have done that. I can't remember quite specifics right now, but she could have asked him about certain text messages, why, but he would have said, well, it kind of falls under that same thing of like, why didn't you subpoena Jim? Why isn't Jim in the courtroom right now testifying on your behalf?
Yeah, or it would have been, I believe it was from Mindy, I believe it was from Jim, I believe it was this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Why? Yeah. Why is there no Jim? Why your bank records? Let's talk about your bank records. And he says, well, he moved a lot. He didn't keep. Again, he had something for every jab she gave him. He had a counter jab, I guess, or a deflection.
Yeah, it wasn't 100 times. It was 50 times that he moved. Okay.
Right.
Like she had to give him, okay, sure, we'll go with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 15 to 20 times. He said that twice. We moved 15 to 20 times in the, yeah. So she said 100 times. He's like, no, it wasn't 100 times. So she's like, okay, how many times? You said 15 to 20. So 30 to 40 times. That's a lot.
Yeah. So we'll just give you that one. Okay, sir. Sure, whatever.
Right. Let's see what else.
And there was there was laughing on the other side of the gallery today. I was afraid they were going to get in trouble.
Oh, really? From who? Do you know who?
From the friends. Oh. And so there is some tea. So there I have a little bit of tea.
Sure.
So his mom at one point was like, I kind of feel like at Mindy's wedding party, a bridal shower, I feel so out of place. I was like, oh my goodness. Well, you're on the other side of the room, mm-hmm. and you've got your family, but I can see how that would make you feel uncomfortable.
Oh, so she was comparing it to being in a wedding party?
At a bridal shower. When you're uncomfortable, because, it's her people and our people, mm-hmm. and, that's not mixing, and yeah, I can see how it would be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you let's see. So you were sitting with the reporters. So you guys clearly had no problem sitting on the defense side.
No.
Did anybody question you? Did anybody say who are you? Why are you there? Who are you? Do you get any of that?
No, nobody asked me. There was actually a lady that was sitting beside me that was coming from Pierce County, so about an hour away, that she had followed the defense attorney during the YSL trial. She's like, I really like him. He was, this and this and that. So she had come to see him, and I was like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling not going great for him.
Yeah, apparently he's got a reputation, Doug Weinstein. So I personally never heard of him. I did not follow the YSL trial. I was aware of it. I saw it, saw a clip here or there, but that was kind of when we were first getting into streaming. So we weren't about that. It was just, we were just into other things. So yeah, apparently he's got a positive reputation. So how did you think he was, like, in watching him on TV and then watching him in the court? How do you think Mr. Weinstein, like, how does he come across live? Like personality wise, demeanor, effectiveness, how do you feel he comes across?
I mean, he seems pretty effective. During the lunch break, he was talking to one of the bailiffs about how threats could come off as anything. Anything could be considered a threat. So, people need to be careful. I guess he was looking at somebody's charges, a potential client or something. I was like, is that really something we need to be discussing in an open courtroom? But okay.
He seems well prepared. I think he's well prepared. I think he's put seeds of doubt here or there. I'm not going to say no. I think he definitely has. For me, I'm like, all right, I'm okay with that.
I could buy it.
Yeah,
I could buy that, but I'm not buying what Nick's selling. Yeah,
it's not swaying me. I agree. It's not swaying me, but I'm like, that's a good point. That's a good point. Fair point. Judy asks, I think we talked about this. Which way is the jury leaning? Are they stone-faced? You kind of talked about the one woman who wasn't even looking at him. Just in general, how do you feel? How do you feel the jury is leaning?
I feel like they're leaning towards guilty. They seemed definitely more engaged during the prosecution's closing. They were engaged. There was one gentleman that was nodding his head. There were some, again, like you said, Mr. Weinstein does make some good points, so he was nodding his head when he was making those points, but there was a lot more nodding during the points that, I don't know how to say her last name, so Miss Laura's points that she was making, and they were more engaged with her, and had all turned their chair to her.
Right. She captivated them, I guess.
Oh, she did.
More so,
she did. Versus, his was a bit dry, and more so of just look at the evidence. Just look at the evidence.
Right.
It seemed hers was like, well, this is the evidence we got. Use your common sense. Makes sense.
Right. Yeah, she was more dramatic. I mean, she used her inflection, getting loud, getting soft, getting loud, getting soft, being demonstrative in her movements. So she definitely, I liked her. I like Miss Baio. I always just think of Scott Baio. I think that's how she pronounces her last name.
Well, she kept you engaged versus, just being monotone, and that is important too.
Absolutely.
Versus getting some eye rolls like he did.
Yeah, she was definitely, I think, playing to the jury, because at one point I kind of really got a real Southern accent. Like she really came in, she really leaned into that Southern accent at one point.
When she was talking about the hunting club and how they went out there.
I think so. Yeah. She's like, people don't, if you don't know the area, she kind of leaned into it at one point. So I think she was really trying to connect with the jury. And do you think, it seems like you think she did?
I think she did, yeah.
Yeah.
Because these are Southern, simple people. And, I mean, he came to I hate to say it, but he didn't do this in a city. He did this in a simple community. And that's what happens.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No, you have to. Yeah. Shore Life. Yeah, she was relatable with the people. That's what you have to do. You have to do that. So, all right. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. It's 5:30 for us, and let's see if you guys have any questions. Sally says she had several y'alls. Yep. If you guys have any questions, we'll stay on for just a few more minutes. But before questions come in, because there's a little bit of delay. Speaking of, so we kind of figured out there was about a 30-second to a minute delay between what you saw versus what we saw, or what you were experiencing.
Yeah, because I think that was when he was going through the charges, which they lived through those really fast. Like it wasn't like any other charge conference I've ever seen. No. They were like, "Yeah, we'll do this one, and then we'll do this one, and we'll do this one." I was like, "Okay." Yep.
Well, the Ollie trial, Washington versus the Ollies, they spent an entire day going through the charges, and it was like 48 charges, 49 charges. Here, I think there was 43. So, I mean, I agree with you. He was like, I'll do this one, 40. I'll do this one. I'll do this one. This one, yeah. I was shocked about that. That he just flew through those. So,
and then he's like, "Oh, it'll only take 30 minutes." I was like, "Okay. Do you read super fast, sir?"
Right.
Okay.
It's going to be a faster a charge. How can I say this? 43 charges, 30 minutes. So he's going to be reading one charge per every 40 seconds. It's going to be faster than a minute, you know?
When he was going through it, I was like, "Oh, this is not, I've never seen this done this way." Okay.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow we'll definitely have to do a poll for how fast the jury's going to come back. Interesting stuff. So tomorrow is Thursday. So you think you are going to go for?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna get up early and go tomorrow.
All right. Awesome. All right. Everybody's saying thank you. Are you watching chat by any chance?
I can't see it because I'm actually sitting in a parking lot.
Oh no! I was hoping that you would at least be home by now, but okay. I definitely will let you go then. Everybody's saying thank you. So everybody's saying thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome, guys. It was my pleasure. I'm glad I was able to make it for when he was on the stand. So
yeah, that was huge for you to do that for yourself, and then of course for us. I can't tell you how appreciative we are. And I know you know, but maybe people in chat don't know. Yesterday I took what the call in, and I reposted that. So I'll do the same tonight, just to to isolate it and to give you credit for doing this for our channel. And I really, we really appreciate it. Both Aaron and I really appreciate it. I know our chat loves it when we have courtroom insiders call in. So you are doing us a huge favor by doing this, and it's just, I can't tell you how happy and appreciative I am that you are doing that. So thank you.
Not a problem. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a good evening, y'all.
All right. Thank you. You too. We'll talk to you later. Okay.
All right.
Bye.